when it embarks on a public sector strike on Monday. The union says it will cripple the country's economy if government fails to meet its wage demand of 10%. Government has offered 7% over 3 years, and some unions have already signed the deal.
Public sector union PSA threatening to hit government where it hurts. It's rejecting government's 7% wage increase, demanding at least 10%. It's now called on its members to embark on a nationwide strike from Monday.
We are the majority union in justice, we are the majority union in NPA, we are the majority union in home affairs, we are the majority union in water affairs, we are the majority union in many provincial departments. So we have a large footprint at the strategic areas of the state, whereupon the services that are rendered by those employees, the state cannot go without.
The Public Service and Administration Department says that the planned PSA strike is in violation of bargaining rules and processes, calling it illegal. The department is optimistic that the strike won't go ahead as it needs a majority 51% buy-in from other unions for the current offer to be legally binding.
48.8%, and we need 51%. So we are just short actually of, I think, 1.2%. And we would be very disappointed if the PSA was not part of the majority of the signing. So all we need now is for one union to come through and sign, and then we have the majority.
Some COSATU affiliated unions have already signed the deal, including POPCRU and SATU. The Public Servants Association has described the Public Service and Administration Minister Ayanda Dlodlo as arrogant, saying she has failed to realize the difficulties workers are facing, with VAT already gone up to 15% and the recent petrol price hike. The union maintains the current 7% wage offer is simply not enough.
I'm telling you, the purse, the government purse has been overstretched. There is really no money available. We are already over the limit. Unions
NATU, SAPU, NEPSO have already rejected the government's offer, but PSA still needs NEHAU to reject the deal as well for the strike to go ahead. Sipho Stirman, SABC News, Pretoria.
All right, let's speak to the Public Servants Association. We're joined by the Deputy General Secretary, Tahir Mayepa. Thank you for being with us, Mr. Mayepa.
Thank you for inviting me.
So right now, you're planning on downing tools next Monday. Is that correct?
The plans are ready. It's just execution now.
And it's a day of rage. What does that mean?
Well, we chose the title Day of Rage because we believe that this is the day that the public servants in general are going to demonstrate the manner in which they are outraged by the behavior of the employer and the manner in which the whole negotiations went by.
230 members reportedly. How many people could take part?
Well, we're expecting a lot of people to take part. We're expecting disgruntled members of the unions that signed this sellout agreement to take part. We're expecting public servants who are not unionized to take part. Because of this is an illegal strike, so any public servant who works for government can join in without any consequences.
But how many from the Public Servants Association?
From the Public Servants Association, we expect all our members to down tool except those who are in essential services.
So because POPCRU is the police union, that's affiliated to COSATU.
Yes.
So they've actually signed. Who are your affiliates involved in emergency services?
Well, even PSA, we do have police members within the PSA, and the other union that rejected this offer is SAPU, which is also the second largest police union. They've already rejected the offer. And we have HOSPESA, which is part of our FEDUSA federation, who has rejected this offer. And we've got NUPSO, who also rejected the offer. So far, majority of unions in the bargaining council have rejected this offer.
Okay, but the police officers at least will still be on the jobs.
Well, police officers can't go on strike because of their essential services, but those who are off and who are on leave will definitely join in the strike.
Apparently, PSA, you've got 5,000 members at SASA. So them going on strike, could that affect social grants?
Well, the issue of the social grant, the impact on the payment of social grants is going to be very minimal because currently it's still outsourced to the current service provider. But the services that are performed by SASSA are definitely going to collapse completely because the PSA there is a majority union.
So where can we see a collapse? How will people like me be affected on that day?
Well, SASSA obviously deals mainly with...
Not SASSA, across government departments.
Across government. My advice to you, don't try and travel anywhere because you won't be able to go out of the country, and you may have a shortage of water, you may have a number of inconveniences in home affairs in terms of IDs and so forth. So basically, because PSA is the largest public service union currently, all the services of government are going to be affected. But economically, this is going to be a major setback for government because it means that goods and services won't be able to travel in and out of the country. And this is the essence of how our strike is structured. It's not structured to go and dance in the street. It's structured to be disruptive in nature. That is how we're going to show the rage that we are feeling as public servants.
That affects everybody in this country. How do you justify that?
There's no justification.
It affects our economy, minus 2.2%
exactly.
already. Poverty, people getting poorer, looking at economic growth compared to population growth.
I sympathize, but who put that in this position? We've been reasoning with this government for the past 9 months. And in these 9 months, they haven't moved an inch. Despite the warnings that we have given them to say that this country is already in dire. For you to push us in a corner, it will have negative consequences for economic prosperity of the country.
You are holding out now for 10%, but April inflation was 4.5%. Already there are concerns about the government wage bill, some saying that it should shrink firstly. Rating agencies, the Reserve Bank saying this is a threat to inflation that again affects us all. So how do you justify asking for 10%?
Well, the inflation is sitting at 4%, but it doesn't include all inflation-related basket issues. The inflation that you are referring to, it definitely doesn't affect the transportation. It doesn't affect the food that our members rely on. And currently, as we speak, we have a situation of the 15% VAT that has just been increased. That in itself, it has increased goods and services. So if you calculate all that, 10% is not even enough to get our members just to get to work and come back. So as far as we are concerned, this is way below what our members are supposed to be getting.
And government, I mean, this is government, but it's also taxpayers' money going to government services. It's saying that it cannot pay. Do you have the research to suggest otherwise? Because surely this should be linked in some form or another to what government can afford right now, to where our economy is.
Yes, that is why we have negotiations. In the negotiation platform, that's where you need to put your books on the table and prove that indeed you are broke. But so far, for 9 months, government hasn't produced any evidence that they are broke, they cannot afford...
So the nation's debt soaring at about 50%, with credit rating agencies saying you may not even be able to pay your creditors abroad. That's not enough.
Well, the issue of our credit situation, we must then go back. Who caused it? Who caused the situation, the economic situation of the country? It is wrong political decisions that have been taken. It is corruption that has inflated the situation that we find. Why should the public servants pay a price for decisions that were taken by other people?
Can your members handle this? Because it's no work, no pay, right? And government is saying at a certain point it can unilaterally force this through anyway. Is this really going to be worth it for the people who are giving up the work for that day?
Well, we can choose to be like other unions and roll over and suffer the consequences for the next 3 years. But what we are saying, we are taking a stand, and we are saying that this is a building block for the future. Because if we don't fight today, we are going to feel the pinch tomorrow. So we cannot rely on possibility that one day things will be better. Whatever we have now and whatever that we can achieve now, we are going to forge ahead and make sure that we get. And if, for instance, the other unions sign this agreement, obviously the PSA now can't go on strike. Does it mean that we have lost? No, we haven't lost. this will change the situation of trade unionism in this country, because unions must stop being influenced by outside forces. They must only be influenced by their members. We are not serving political discourses here. This is about bread and butter issues. And those who have signed have no reason why they signed, because of this very same agreement that they signed is the same agreement that we refused to, we rejected on the 28th of May. Nothing has changed in that particular agreement.
All right, we have to end it there. That is the PSA's Deputy General Secretary, Tahir Maepa, promising that kick-off of the strike on Monday indefinitely. Back to you, Bongani.
I always know him as the guy